pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. I'd like to welcome everybody to the July regular board meeting. As Carrie and I discussed on the way in, it's going too fast. Summer's almost halfway done, so lots to do yet, and lots of things on the agenda for tonight. In any interaction with boards on agenda items, I don't have any yellow cards, so we'll move on to motion and second to approve the agenda.
So moved.
Motion by Roger,
I'll second.
second by Leslie. Discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor?
Aye.
Aye, those opposed, motion carries. Approve the minutes of the the June 2nd regular board meeting.
So moved.
Motion by Ryan,
Second.
second by Carrie. Discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor?
Aye.
Aye, those opposed, motion carries. Moving on. Since Josh is the only one here, Josh gets to go first.
I don't have a lot, I just got in the office.
He's been officially on duty for 7 days.
Yeah, I don't have a lot to share.
We don't want excuses right away.
I've been I'm losing my voice, so I apologize. I've been in the office a few times since July 1. Still working on trying to get the schedule figured out. When we added those two positions, it just made things a little bit more difficult, so I'm working on that still. Just trying to reach out to staff, and that's kind of where I'm at right now, so.
Well, if you need anything from us, let us know.
Yeah.
All right.
Thank you.
Thanks, Josh.
You get a chance to look at Chris's report, any questions?
I did, and I don't know if we want to talk about the handbook now, or you want me to wait till later?
Oh, why don't we wait till the action item, or just the discussion?
Okay.
on that? Yep.
I didn't see anything from Chris, Rachel, Jim, Sue, Tim, Cindy, Jolene.
Mine is quick and easy, just on the two action items that you have on your agenda tonight. The long-term facility maintenance plan is the 10-year plan that we approve every summer. That just follows what you've already approved in the budget book from last month. But none of the spreadsheets were available when we approved our budget. So this is just kind of the follow-up, and it's due by July 31st to MDE. Does our 10-year revenues, 10 years expenses, and just kind of projects going forward of what projects we see coming. Nothing wild and crazy on the budget this time around. And then the other one is a revision already to the student activity accounts. I had given you a heads up that maybe there would be revisions coming once all of the dust settled on checks being made and deposits being made and everything. So this is the final number going forward. This is the numbers that student activity advisors will be given going forward into this year, knowing how much money they have. That's it.
Yep.
Thank you.
Thanks.
And Cindy submitted a little report, and if you had a
Yeah, she
chance
did.
to look at that, and any questions on Cindy's at all?
Okay. Joel?
We're just cruising right along. Hi, everyone. Community Ed updates. Newsletter, you should have found this in your mailbox this weekend. I was thinking it wasn't gonna come out till today, but I got mine, I don't know, maybe Saturday or something. So, thank you again to Emily for putting together this newsletter. And if you've had a chance to look through it, you'll notice that there are some really super fun classes. There's even some things I'm gonna take, and I'm taking a lot of community ed classes, so this is great. So just a couple of quick highlights. So July really has a lot going on. For youth, there's some, Emily she connected with a new person who hasn't taught with us, at least in my time here, and like gonna make some kids bread making and appetizers and things like that, so kind of fun. Even dinner is served. The kid gets to cook and bring it home for the mom and dad. Yay. For adult side, we have our gardening classes coming up. There's a couple coming up in July. We have cake decorating class, porch sign painting, a a charcuterie class, and that's a partnership class with Pequot Lakes. I did one about 2 weeks ago over in Cross Lake, and it was super fun. So I'm hoping people sign up for this class. If you don't know what charcuterie is, Brian, do you know what charcuterie is? I'm gonna teach you. I know he was looking like, I don't know what she's doing.
Sausage and
Can I
cheeses
tell you,
and
can I
grapes.
give you one place that we go to eat this thing is Main Street and this one, and you know what charcuterie is.
Yep.
So it's like
thinking
a
it was
board
chips
of
and
all
dip.
kinds of
Yep, all
goodies,
kinds of
right?
stuff. Yep.
And so, but this class is how do you create that beautiful board? And so if you like to host, I mean, how do you make the cute little roses out of meat and all those things? It's much more than meat and cheese. Anyways, super fun if you want to do it, and it tastes yummy too. So that's coming up. We have a Twins game, a Stillwater, a trip down to Stillwater coming up. And then this is a really cool thing too, and this is a class I think I'm gonna take. It's a wave serving board, so it's like a wooden board. Back to that charcuterie class, right? You can serve it on here. And you like that pour paint stuff where you make like a design on it, so it's really kind of fun and fancy. So that one is on my list to take. We are going to be doing some interviews on Wednesday for our coordinator position, and so looking forward to seeing how those go, and we have some really great candidates, so hoping we find the right person and can just plug that person right into Emily's shoes, I guess. So what else? Those are the main things. Any questions for what we have going on?
Has there been any applicants or anything for that child system?
Yeah, I'll update you on that, Roger. So, when Emily resigned, we looked at, the position as a whole in looking at the site care coordinator along with the community ed coordinator position. And so we ended up kind of merging those positions, and so it'll be a full-time position. And, it'll be a busy position, but it's not unlike many other districts that, in Pequot, my coordinator down there, she does the same thing. She's in charge of school age care.
Okay.
She also does maybe an adult classes, just as an example, close by.
Yeah.
So it'll be a good busy position for
Okay.
someone.
Good deal.
A 40-hour position,
Yeah.
all year was a lot more attractive, and so I think
Yeah.
we received, 11 applicants, I think,
Yeah.
on there.
Oh, good.
Quite a few, so we got some
Yeah.
good stuff to move through. Yeah, great. Anything else? All right, thanks, guys.
Thank you.
Thank you.
I guess we're moving on to you.
Yep, and I can also give a little building update because I know that Jim Lure, Director of Buildings and Grounds, wasn't able to be here, but he kind of just shared with me, basically just update on the cleaning. Everything's moving forward, getting ready for the next school year. Got some kind of renovating, updating projects going on in some of the elementary classrooms, and all moving forward with that. So, moving into my report, I typically start off with reading parts of our strategic plan. The mission statement, the mission of the Pine River Baptist Schools is to teach and inspire students to grow, excel, reach, and succeed in partnership with our learning community, with our vision being to be a destination district focused on shaping the leaders for tomorrow through independence, creative, and growth. Our benchmarks that we watch are review regional factors, facility needs, staff environment, or safe environment, and consistent discipline, course offerings for life skill needs, staff training, professional development, and student achievement. And I'm really sharing that with you this morning, as I'll address a little bit further down in my report. Just general updates. Josh was able to attend a leadership retreat with us in the first part of June at Breezy Point. It was a good time where we got to listen to a keynote speaker, kind of that was really focusing on kind of branding and connecting with the community. You know, how do we do that through Facebook and all the social medias? And how do we also do the connection face to face? So we don't lose that part. The leadership team was able to sit down and just kind of talk about things that have been going on in Pine River Bacchus. I think it was a pretty good update for Josh and just kind of where we've been, where we see ourselves going. We had some staff join us on the third day from the elementary and the high school leadership team, so we got their input on just kind of helping us set some goals. So it was a good time, very productive time. Update to everybody is that we've had some negotiation meetings with Pioneer Backus Education Minnesota, the teachers, as well as our local 284 paraprofessionals, custodial staff, and administrative assistants. We had the Summerfest Parade. A big, huge thank you goes out to Jolene Bankston, Molly Bankston, Mike Lupella, Greg Gentry, Rachel LaFavor, Nikki Liston Lodge, Carrie Maurer Ackerman, Josh was there as well, and my wife Cream walked in the parade. We were handing out pencils and chapstick and pens and everything, and we got a little razz that we weren't handing out candy like everybody else, but it was really amazing on how many kids were like, hey, back to school pencils, and wanted to get loaded up on the PRB pencils. So a big thank you with everybody with that. We also had staff that was walking the parade with different youth organizations like Leah Freeman and Rhonda Sawyer for the youth girls volleyball. They had a great float that was in there as well. We do have Backus Corn Fest coming up on August 9th with the parade and stuff, so we're still looking for parade walkers that would be willing to kind of come up to Backus and show our presence there and thank that community as well. A little bit on funding changes. Nothing drastically. Jolene has really kept us in a good financial position so that we can absorb some of the things that happen at the federal level and the state level trying to fix the federal level. So some little things that will come up throughout the year that we'll update you on, but nothing major that's going to be impacting the direction that we're going and the staffing that we have and the programs we're offering. So that's looking pretty good. I'd like to suggest that our August work session, because we do not have work sessions, we didn't have one in June, we don't have one in July. Next one is August, that we kind of focus that work session on policy updates. I will get some policies set and ready for you as all the legislative changes and all those things come to an end, so we can get those updated and ready for the 25-26 school year. So might be some reading. Most of them that I've been noticing so far coming through are little grammatical changes, some reference changes, so nothing too heavy that's going to require 3 readings, that we should be able to read them at that one and then adopt them at our September meeting. The reason I read through our strategic planning, mission statement, vision, and benchmark areas is you've heard me in the past couple meetings. I think it is time for us again, because it's been 5 years, to kind of take a look at our strategic plan and see how we'd like to move forward with that. Our last time we used Big River, the Big River group, to help us through that. And that was right in the heart of COVID. So it was hard. We didn't have a whole lot of hands-on with that process. But now with that not being COVID, we can kind of pick up and get a lot more community input and staff input. And there's some other groups out there, such as Partner Ed, MSBA also does that. And of course, there's Big River again. So my question to you is that something that you would like me to start getting some pricing from them on what it would, what their services would cost if we want to use an outside service? Thoughts?
Say go ahead and get some prices.
Yeah.
Is there anybody locally that?
I checked with Sourcewell to see if they do that, and they do not facilitate the strategic planning. They have trained facilitators that could help us, but not do it. They don't have a strategic planning programming.
My thought process is I'd like to have a meeting on the strategic plan and not just go out and get more prices and things, because I'm going to discuss some things about the handbooks and some other things that are going on. I'd like to have a better understanding of what if we're changing our strategic plan, or we're moving the strategic plan from the strategic plans that we've had before to the strategic plans we have. A lot of the stuff stays the same. Over the HRS and PBIS and strategic plan, what is actually going on with all those things that we're doing, and have meaning and purpose to each and individual items that we're looking at. And so I guess, you know, and I was going to ask the board to have a possible work session in July, because there's a lot of things. As after our meetings this morning, I started looking at some of the stuff that we should be really going over, and I'm sure Josh will have a handbook that's coming through. And we're always in a hurry to get the stuff pushed through it and looking at it, but really letting let our administrative know that if this is what we're going to do, this is the support that we need to give them, especially Josh being new, is this is what we have going forward, and we need to follow. And so, you know, as Jonathan reads the strategic plan, is it some words that we just put on a piece of paper, or is it a living, breathing document? And look at it as such, and not just something that we're just gonna do again. What are the things that worked, what are the things that don't work? Let's get a time to sit down where we can't, it has to be specific, it has to be open to the public, but then go from there, and then as we go from there as far as moving forward. And that's probably not what you wanted to hear from me, but
No.
that's my thought process of saying, hey, guys, we gotta, I mean, again, as we start doing this stuff, we have lots of things that we say that we work on, and lots of things that we're not committed to. This is something that we have to be committed to and make sure that it's not just something that we went through the goal of having a strategic plan. But this is actually something, in when we review Jonathan and when we review the board, are we following these things that we set forth for the district? And really, really dig in, and not, I think, one more step before we ask for pricing.
If you like, just following our regular meeting schedule, we could schedule a work session on Monday the 21st. Or if you wanted to have a special meeting, we could do that as well.
I want to bring Jolene on the 28th, 29th, and 30th for special meetings for those days. I was going to ask for the 21st, if not the 28th, whatever that works for the board, to have a meeting, but there's.
21st, aren't we doing negotiations?
At 2 o'clock.
Oh, 2.
At 2 o'clock, so we,
I'm good with that.
Would work.
I'm good with that.
all right,
21st.
we will schedule a work session, or would you rather it be just like a special session retreat type thing?
Just schedule it as a work session.
Okay.
And there's a few things we can put we can look at whatever we need, but I want the handbook on there and the strategic plan for sure.
At 5:30 as we usually
Mhm.
schedule, okay?
Thank you.
Yep. And then just a rundown of some upcoming meetings here on July 15th. We have a chamber meeting at Bites, which starts at noon. And we would like to attend on the 21st at 2 o'clock. Our negotiating team will be having a session with Local 284. That will be our third session. Please don't schedule anything on the 28th through August 1st, as auditors will be here and the DO will be stressed out enough without anything else. On August 1st, we also have the Pine River Economic Development meeting. They meet at 7:30 in the morning over at the Pine River State Bank with that. And then again, on August 9th, Corn Fest up in Bacchus.
What time's the parade on that?
Pardon?
Time's the parade? Huh?
2 o'clock?
2 o'clock,
That's an interesting time.
I believe. Back in the day, we used to have it in the morning.
Used
Now
to
we
be
have it.
11 o'clock.
We had it because then they would leave, and then you couldn't get them back to town for the fireworks and whatever, so now if
I
you have
couldn't even
it.
get across 371 to get back to work.
So when do we line up?
12:30.
Say that again?
12:30 is lineup.
Okay.
12:30
Yes.
to 2 o'clock. I'd say we could line up probably about, okay, we'll just,
Yeah.
I won't.
1:30? No.
I was told that lineup was 9 o'clock and the parade was 10 o'clock for Summerfest. Needless to say, it was wrong. We sat in that parking lot a long time.
It was relationship building.
That's all I had, Chris.
Okay, thank you. So we have the consent calendar. I just want to quick say thank you to Emily Hedberg. What a great asset, what a great, and wish her well on her endeavors of where she's going, and Can't thank her enough for all the things that she did for the district while she was here.
Yep, she was only here for a year, but she made a big impact. Her presence will be missed on the DO.
So motion and a second for the consent calendar.
So move.
Motion by Dave,
Second.
second by Nikki. Discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor?
Aye.
Aye, those opposed, motion carries. Moving on to item 7, discussion item 7.1. So we can talk about this a little bit now. We now have a work session. Guys, I really want you to look into this handbook. And I really want you to look at the first 3 pages. Really look at the first 3 pages and what we're asking, and what we're giving the people to do, and the support that we're asking them to give. You look at our area of responsibilities, but if you look at vision statements, belief statements, and goals, we're talking about all students. We're not talking about student athletes. We're talking about conduct of the students that are going to be here, elementary and staff too. I mean, when we look at this, and then we need to be able to give the support to the staff, that this is what is going to be expected from the board level down to administration, down to the teachers, and you know what, we really need it to be supportive of that. So I am going to ask that you take some time to go through it, and at least, like I said, 5, 6, 7, and 8, as you look through it. And there's a lot of stuff that, we get into, you get into the micromanage, but look at the things that, teach, inspire, grow, excel, reach, and succeed. Tigers, right? Are we doing that at a high level? Are we doing that at a low level? So there's I don't want to say no child left behind, but everybody is following the rules and getting the attention to everything that they need to do. So please take time before the 21st, and we can discuss more on this. And Josh, if you can give me just an overview of what you're kind of already thinking, we can have some discussions there. It doesn't have to be the final one, but just so we have it there and we can look at it. But if there's some highlights that you want to have to make some changes, let's have that discussion on the 21st. So we're not coming back right at the end of August and we're trying to put 2 handbooks out the door and away we go, and we didn't take the due diligence on doing that. So I'm asking the board to do a little homework on that if we can.
I did have one last report. She usually doesn't submit a report just because we don't ask her to, but Missy Leposki had submitted a year-end health services report. And just kind of just some information, some numbers here in comparison from last year, if I could jump that in without. Last year, she had 65 students that would come down to her for medication periodically throughout the year. This past year, it rose to 100. She had last year 3,624 office visits. This year she had 5,086
Wow.
office visits. With that, and and sometimes it's kids not feeling well because class is hard that day. Sometimes, but she through her nursing skills kind of can recognize, high flyers, get them back to class and stuff. And she has just streamlined that office and that process and has organized that I just wanted to point out, the increase of work that she has been doing, but just the efficiency that she is doing that with has been just great.
That's
And
great. That's some statistics we hadn't really seen before. So
no.
I like that.
So, and she's got it broken down by how many come each month, so we
I was
kind of
gonna say,
know
we're
which
getting an average.
which month does the tummy aches kind of increase, and that long stretch after Christmas break is kind of where you start seeing that increase, a little bit more flu and colds going on there, but that's also a very long stretch.
Would you say 5,000 what?
5,086.
That's 30. That's on an average of 30 visits a day. So great job on getting that building put together, because that would have been a lot to run out of that little copy room in the elementary school.
Yeah.
Yep. And she's
Can that be
put-
shared with the board, John?
What?
Can that be emailed out to the board?
Yeah, I think I can.
You can't know what it is, but we can tell you
Right, the generals.
how many calls.
Yeah, yeah.
The same thing
Yeah.
with.
Oh yeah, she doesn't have names
Names,
on
no.
who's on. It's strictly, what kind of things that are coming through because our number of students that have some significant health needs has increased as well. And she's given us some things to think about as far as medication policies that we'll kind of take a look at then at that August work session.
And then, starting September, it'll be October, the board will be getting a, representation from the liaison officer on kind of a highline there too of
That'll be
how
nice.
many calls, what's going on. And again, a lot of stuff, you can't put names and you can't put
We don't want any.
just the calls and whatever the case may be, but, you know,
The Dana students?
no, the liaison officer.
Oh. Do we ever get reports from the Dana students?
We've brought the dean of students in the past and kind of talking about some of the data, referral data that we've had in the office and stuff. We haven't asked John Jacobson to come this year, but we've had Gina in the past come in.
Yeah, I
and
remember
do a
Gina's been here,
presentation.
yeah.
Hmm.
That might be, so
Okay.
that would, I would be interested in that.
Be nice to have a rotation
Mhm.
of like.
And the ALC also. I know she's come once in a while, but it's good.
Yeah, she is on the Lakeland Health Board for Lakeland Hospital up in Staples, and they meet on the same night that we meet on.
Oh.
I
Even a
will-
written report would be good.
Yeah,
Mhm.
more to come there, Leslie.
Okay.
I've got some things that I'm gonna follow
Okay,
up from
good.
some of our meetings, so. We wanna get in a groove. John and I are still meeting every Monday morning. If there's something that you want John and I to discuss or whatever the case may be, that it's, a high flying item or a low flying item, gives us a chance to put some things together and get back with the board, because it's all important, and you all should be having at least a quarterly meeting with John, so, there's just so much going on with, negotiations and then the school starting back up and whatever. We've decided to keep ours on Monday morning. And, so if there's something there, email John, we can discuss it, and then we can disseminate some information too out that way, so.
He likes to start his week off with me.
But.
Jolene
like
always,
your-
Jolene always comes in about 8:15 on
You
that
like
day.
your week started off with, yeah, no, don't answer that.
All right, very good. Moving on to action items, we have two tonight. Approve the resolution authorizing the 2027 long-term facility maintenance budget plan.
So moved.
Motion by Roger,
I'll second.
second by Leslie. Discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor?
Aye.
Aye, those opposed, motion carried. Approve the revision of the preliminary 2025-2026 budget for student activity accounts.
So moved.
Motion by Nikki,
Second.
second by Carrie. Any discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor?
Aye.
Aye, those opposed, the motion carries. Time for an open forum on any non-agenda items. At this time, we are going to close the meeting per Minnesota State Statute 13D, Subdivision 3, in order to consider the strategy for negotiations with Pine River Bacchus, Education Minnesota, and Local 284. We will stay in a closed session, and then we will stay in a closed session 13D.05 to evaluate the performance of Jonathan Clark, and we will have that recap on the August regular board meeting. Motion. Motion by Dave,
Second.
second by Ryan. 5:57, we are closing the meeting.
Thanks, everybody.
Thank you all.